Welcome back everyone to another brand new video on our channel. Today, we're diving deep into the world of Kantara Chapter 1, the latest masterpiece from the South Indian film industry. Now, this movie is directly connected to the 2022 blockbuster Kantara, but here's the twist. Chapter 1 isn't a sequel, it's actually a prequel. Instead of continuing the story, this film takes us back in time to reveal the mysterious origins of Kantara itself. So, if you haven't watched it yet, don't worry, because in this video, we'll be breaking down the entire story in detail so you can enjoy the full experience right from your home. But like I always say, cinema is more than just a story, it's an experience. So if possible, do watch it in theaters for the real magic. And before we begin, make sure to like, comment Kantara below, and subscribe if you haven't already. Now, without wasting any more time, let's jump straight into this mind-blowing story. The word Kantara literally means a mysterious forest, a place filled with secrets and divine power. Just like the title, the entire story revolves around a mystical forest called Kantara. The movie takes us back thousands of years into ancient times, where it's said that God sent Panjoli Dev and Guliga Dev to Earth. These two divine beings descended into a dense forest and made it their home, a forest that would later be known as Kantara. But outside this forest lay a massive kingdom ruled by a cruel and ruthless king named Vijendra, the ruler of the Kadamba Empire. This empire was vast, with the Kantara forest on one side and the ocean on the other, which made it a prime location for trade. Now, King Vijendra wasn't just greedy, he was merciless. He enslaved poor villagers, beat them, and sold them to foreign traders for profit. He wanted everything: power, land, and wealth. One day, while bathing in the sea, the king noticed an old man sitting far away, fishing peacefully. That old man was Maikara, a poor fisherman from Kantara, simply trying to catch his next meal. But the arrogant king couldn't tolerate the idea that a poor man could fish in his waters. In anger, he ordered his soldiers to capture and kill the old man. Just as the soldiers were about to execute him, some spices fell out of Maikara's pocket. The king picked them up and realized that these were no ordinary spices. They were rare and valuable, the kind that foreign traders would pay fortune for. So the king stopped the execution and demanded to know where Maikara got them. The old man calmly replied, "From the forest of Kantara." The king had never entered Kantara before. He thought nothing useful could come from it. But upon hearing this, his greed awakened. He decided to invade the forest and claim its riches for himself. He gathered his army and even took his young son, Rashekar, along, and together they marched into Kantara. But as they entered, something divine happened. King Vijendra saw Panjali Dev appear before him, warning him not to go any further. But blinded by greed, the king ignored the warning. Suddenly, a herd of raging bulls stormed out of the jungle, trampling and killing his soldiers one by one. Still, the king pressed on. And then, Panjali Dev himself appeared and killed the arrogant king on the spot. It was divine justice, the protector of Kantara destroying the man who tried to exploit it. The forest had defended itself. The tribal people of Kantara witnessed this miraculous event, and among them was the clan from which our main hero would one day be born. However, the king's son, young Rajshekar, survived. He ran deep into the forest, terrified, and eventually fainted. He was later found by members of another tribe, the Kadapa tribe, who dressed in black and practiced dark rituals and black magic. They rescued the boy, healed him, and returned him safely to his palace. From that moment on, Rajshekar formed a deep bond with the Kadapa tribe, often helping them in secret. Years passed. The kingdom now belonged to King Rajshekar, the same boy who had once seen his father die at the hands of the forest god. But Rajshekar wasn't like his father. He was a kind-hearted ruler who genuinely cared for his people. He maintained peace between the villagers and the forest by offering regular prayers to Panjali Dev. To everyone's surprise, Rajshekar even built a grand temple at the edge of the forest, a sacred place where the deity was worshipped as Daiva Panjurli.
They convinced him that he could harness the forest power for his own gain if he controlled Panjurli Dev's temple. Rajshekhar hesitated, but the desire for immortality blinded him. He began sending soldiers to cut trees inside the forbidden forest, the same forest that his father had died in. The tribal elders warned him, saying, "No king who breaks the oath of Kantara ever lives to see another sunrise." But Rajshekhar ignored them. And that's when Panjurli Dev appeared once again, furious. The entire forest trembled. Lightning struck the palace, destroying half of it in flames. Rajshekhar realized his mistake and begged for forgiveness. Panjurli Dev spared his life but gave him a curse. Your bloodline will suffer the pain of betrayal and death until the balance is restored. From that day, Rajshekhar was never the same again. He became haunted, restless, and paranoid. Every night he would hear voices calling his name from the forest, voices of the damned crying out for justice. During this time, Berma grew up into a young man. He became the most powerful warrior of his clan and was chosen as the next Bhutakola performer, the one who would serve as the vessel of Panjurli Dev during rituals. His connection with the divine was unmatched. Whenever he danced in the Bhutakola ceremony, people said they could see the god himself moving through his body. One day, Princess Kanaka, Rajshekhar's daughter, came to visit the temple. There she met Berma for the first time. She was mesmerized by his strength and simplicity, and soon love blossomed between the two. A love that was forbidden by both the royal family and the tribe. But destiny had already written something darker for them. Princess Kanaka and Berma met secretly in the forest, under the same trees where Panjurli Dev once descended. Their love was pure, honest, and forbidden. Kanaka would sneak out of the palace every full moon, bringing fruits and flowers, while Berma told her stories of the spirits who protected Kantara. She loved his bravery, and he her kindness. But soon rumors of their relationship spread throughout the kingdom. When King Rajshekhar learned that his daughter was in love with a tribal man, he flew into a rage. He declared that no royal blood shall ever mix with a forest dweller, and ordered his guards to capture Berma. Berma was chained, tortured, and thrown into the palace dungeon. But that very night, the temple's sacred fire started burning blue, a sign that the deity was angry. The tribal elders warned the king again. You can imprison a man, but never a god living inside him. Ignoring the warning, Rajshekhar planned to execute Berma at dawn, but Kanaka couldn't bear it. She disguised herself as a maid, sneaked into the dungeon and freed Berma. They fled into the forest, running for their lives as soldiers followed. And that's when the storm began. Winds howling, thunder cracking. The forest itself seemed alive. Suddenly, Panjurli Dev manifested through Berma's body, his eyes glowing with divine fury. Berma, now possessed by the deity, raised his trident and screamed, "This land belongs to none but the god who protects it." The soldiers fell one by one. The earth shook as lightning split the trees. In that storm, King Rajshekhar himself arrived on horseback, facing Berma, the man he once blessed as a child of the forest. A fierce battle erupted, not between man, but between royalty and divinity. Berma struck the ground with his trident, sending shockwaves through the forest. The temple bells rang by themselves, and fire poured from heaven. In one final strike, Berma pierced the ground, unleashing Panjurli Dev's full wrath. The entire forest went silent. When the smoke cleared, the king lay dead, his body burnt by divine fire. Kanaka wept beside him, while Berma fell unconscious. When he awoke, Panjurli's voice echoed in his mind. The curse is complete, but peace is not eternal. Your bloodline will suffer the pain of betrayal and death until the balance is restored. From that day, Berma was never the same again. He realized his destiny, that his lineage would forever guard Kantara, generation after generation. He became the first guardian of Kantara, the protector of the divine boundary between man and God. From that day, no one dared to cross the sacred forest again. The villagers built a shrine in Berma's memory, marking the birth of a legend that would echo through centuries. Years passed, the kingdom fell, but the legend of Berma, the protector of Kantara, lived on, whispered through generations like a sacred hymn.
Every year, the villagers would gather to perform the Bhutagola ritual, not just to worship Punjali Dev, but to honor Berma's spirit, the man who sacrificed everything to protect the land. The story tells us that Berma didn't die, he merged with the forest itself. He became one with the divine energy of Kantara, watching over every tree, every animal, and every soul that entered it. As centuries rolled by, kings came and went. Empires rose and crumbled, but Kantara remained untouched. No one dared to claim it, for everyone knew. The one who tries to own Kantara loses his soul to it. And this is where the connection begins with the 2022 film Kantara. In that movie, we saw a young man named Shiva, wild, fearless, and deeply connected to the forest. What many didn't realize is that Shiva is actually Berma's descendant, the last guardian in the bloodline chosen by Punjali Dev himself. The ending of the 2022 film, where Shiva disappears into the forest and becomes one with the deity, that was the moment the cycle came full circle. The prophecy from chapter 1, "Your blood will serve this land until balance returns," finally came true. Berma's soul lived on through Shiva, and Kantara once again found its protector. And that, my friends, was the complete story of Kantara Chapter 1, a powerful mythological prequel that beautifully explains the origin of the divine protector and the legacy behind the 2022 masterpiece. If you loved this recap, make sure to smash that like button, drop a comment with your favorite moment from the film, and of course, subscribe for more epic movie recaps every week. Because here on this channel, we don't just watch movies, we feel them.